Hello everyone and welcome to Tinfoil Thursday. How's everyone doing? Hope your week's going well so far. You're getting close to the end. You're almost there. One more day. Oh boy, look at that image. That's something, isn't it? Today we're going to be taking a look at all sorts of conspiracy theories and conspiracy theorists from around the weird world of the internet. And this man believes he's talking to reptilians. This reptilian, I guess. Why is he like that? I don't know. I wish I could answer the question. That's just what reptilians are like, I guess. Fennikagami with 40 bits says, "Yay, I finally caught a stream live, and I'm now more convinced than ever that most of the conspiracy community was either a psyop or co-opted by one because seriously, how has the latest file drop not dominated their discourse? Of course, I suppose their obsessive need to be contrarian might also be part of the explanation. Some of them are talking about it, but they're taking all of the wrong messages from it. Because of course they are." Bittergrin with 100 bits says, "Damn, that's a repto daddy." Let me see what else is before this in chat. Sweet Lily Love with a 95 stream streak says, "Streaky weeky." Janerdy with 28 months says, "A guy channeling reptiles. I'm immediately suspicious." How dare you? And that catches us up. So welcome. Let's see, get the housekeeping out of the way. If you're on YouTube, do me a favor and hit the like button. Helps a lot. Just hit the thumbs up. If you are anywhere else, there's no like button, so I guess that's fine. You can always... Oh, Nemesaur, thank you for gifting 10 tier 1 subs. Speaking of which, if you want to support the show, you can always become a subscriber, gift subs, gift memberships, bits, or super chats. You guys know the drill. So with all that out of the way, let's jump into it. Do we want to do the reptilian guy first, or do we hold him off until later? I really don't know, because we could give people some more time to get here. Let's start with... Oh, Lucas, thanks for 56 months. We are on a hype train, by the way, 30% to level 4. As a lizard queen, don't I appreciate the repto daddy? You know, the super buff thing? Not my speed, to be honest with you, especially when it's a horrifying, malformed drawing. New Shine Dark with 7 months says, I can't my face when I know Rothschild worked with Epstein. I might become a conspiracy theorist again. Please don't. I've seen so many people taking the wrong messages away from the files and diving directly into conspiracy shit. Please don't. I'm begging you not to. Sweet Lily Love with 100 bits, thank you. I'm now seeing other trans people being like, "Oh, Jeffrey Epstein was behind all the transphobia over the last 10 years. And it's like, nope. I don't know if you know this, people are pretty transphobic all on their own. I'm not saying there's no people in power who take advantage of wedge issues in order to further their own political agendas, and trans people are a pretty divisive topic, so certainly we're a target. But to act as though all transphobia in the media is at the direction of Jeffrey Epstein specifically is so stupid, I want to shake everyone I've heard say it. Stop being delusional. There is not a one-person solution to all of your problems. I'm sorry the world hates us. I really am. It's not fun, but it is not the result of one pedophile. That is not how anything works. If anyone needed to hear that, you heard it. Please listen. Stone Corbell, thanks for gifting a sub. I appreciate it. 77% to level 4. Mr. Blast, thanks for gifting a sub, almost getting us over level 4. Oh, we'll do this one. This is about how John Carpenter is a Freemason. Alted Undying with 100 bits says, "Hype, and you are correct." Over level 4, thank you.
As many know, this channel is based on the concept of the movie They Live with Roddy Piper.
Reference to the movie They Live on the bingo card.
Playing the character John Nada. And even though I thoroughly enjoy the movie, we have to remember you're not going to be a producer, director, or writer in Hollywood unless you're a Freemason. And here you see the director.
Are you aware that John Carpenter was never very successful contemporaneously with his films? Most of his popular films became popular as cult films later. The Thing got shit on by critics at the time. It's actually hilarious to listen to the reviews. They absolutely hated the movie. Dillis Filler with 160 bits says, I'm begging people to stop trying to assign discrete actors to large, systemic, or otherwise terrible events out of convenience and psychological bias. Yes. Yes.
Director John Carpenter, as you can see, The Prince of Darkness, so that's right off the bat not the best thing. Just like
It's the name of one of his movies.
many people
Satan's like a goo pit or something. I haven't seen it.
present the truth in the media, just like you see here with George Carlin, even though he speaks a lot of truth, he's
Freemasons on the bingo card.
working for the other side, just like John Carpenter is. Just as you see here with this DVD cover and Roddy Piper, John Nada with the one-eye symbolism. Get more of that as we move forward. We've already seen it here a bit with the Eye of Illumination. But let's take a look.
I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be someone looking into one of those, like, lens things so you can get the idea of a shot. He's a director. Directors look into the camera. He's not the director of photography, but still, they do check the shots and stuff. It's a visual metaphor for his career, because this is a piece on his career as a director. He's also a writer and a composer, but mostly known for his directing, I would argue.
At the very famous scene,
Satanic on the bingo card, yeah, that should basically be a free space at this point. Oh, all the conspiracy theorists' takeaway from the Epstein files, by the way, is that Satanists control the world. That's been their takeaway, is that they were right all along. So that's great. Glad everyone's getting the wrong messages from this shit. Kind of pisses me off that it's really a moment where we should most be able to express to people why wealth accumulation is so dangerous when it gets to a certain extent, because people become above the law and get to do whatever they want, including harming children. But instead of that, people are just blaming Satan instead of dealing with real-world issues. It's not great. It's not great. Fenakagami says, a better way to think about this is that Epstein's not the source of those problems, but he was an apparatus by which the problems became coordinated, organized, and radicalized, and therefore became worse. It's kind of like how a cult like Trumpism doesn't really create new problems. It organizes and exasperates already existing problems. I haven't even seen evidence that he intentionally went out of his way to exacerbate these problems. I don't know where people are getting this. I've seen the emails where he's talking to people about trans people. At no point does the email go, ah, yes, we must get the public very against trans people for reasons. The guy he was emailing was being very creepy about trans people and is clearly a fucking chaser. But, like, at no point did they go, ah, yes, we will make an evil plan to hurt trans people. But that's how people are taking it, and it's kind of driving me insane. I feel like people are hearing this shit, like, third hand, and they don't know what the emails even say. They're getting information through memes and, like, Instagram posts that are vague posting, and people are getting really out there ideas. It's concerning. I'm seeing so much conspiracy on the left now. It's not good. Phoenix Leftist, thanks for 125 stream streak. 30 seconds left on the hype train.
with the preacher man, as he's talking about how society is blind. Well, he's blind himself, but people are blind to the truth. While he might be physically blind, he can see through this deceived world. And they will not tell you with words that they are Masons. They're going to tell you through signs and symbols hidden in plain sight. And let's
Except for Freemasons that are very open about the fact that they're Freemasons.
again take a look at this
Except those ones.
scene from the 1988 movie They Live, again with the preacher man. As I move this scene up forward,
Thanks for the hype
you're
train.
going to see the TV screen scene. As you're looking at George Washington
Hey, Freyline.
and the other presidents on Mount Rushmore, you see the so-called discount price marked at $339. And if you look closely, you'll notice the area is blacked out around the price tag. And of course, George Washington, being the so-called very first U.S. president, as I show many times.
So-called. I mean, there were, like, presidents before him that was before, like, we had actually, like, formed the country. Like, I think the Continental Congress had a president that was different and stuff. But, like, he's the first president of the United States. Does he not believe George Washington was the president?
times in previous videos. George Washington listed as Freemason and first president in this order. Of course, Freemason being first before first president on this bust. Again, this all comes down to you have a Freemason president, the 33rd degree sign of Freemasonry. And again, this is some gray area here. Let's take a look. First off, a little bit of a close-up where you can clearly see they basically blacked out the area. And you have, again, the gray area could be looked at as $339, or, of course, the 33rd degree of Freemasonry.
Nope, that's a 9.
We'll get into that a little bit as we move forward, but I want to play this and move this forward again and just take a look as they pan over. You see the eagle, and again, symbolic with Freemasonry. And as
symbolic with America. These are images of Americana. The movie is have a commentary on America at the time, on Reaganomics, on like austerity and like big business taking over the country, the results of which we're still seeing today. It's getting even worse.
The screens move to left to right. You saw that price tag. And let me move this back a bit here. So just want to make sure for reference that I have this all in order so people will have no dispute over this, where you have this first TV with the price tag. And again, when you pan to the right, you're going to see the second TV with it, where it says here special sale. So this is very important, very key, because as we move forward here to this scene where it's panned out and you see the TVs again. Again, here is the TV without the black border, and you have the $339 price tag, the sale price, the original price $350, and the second TV. So let's take a look here once again at the $339, and again taking a look without the border around it. You see it clearly here. And this price tag is a bit off, a little bit different. You compare.
Out of all the things you could talk about in the movie They Live, you're talking about the price tag on a television for like 10 minutes.
Them side by side.
Starting to think he didn't get the movie.
Obviously, again, they purposely put this black banner, or border, I should say, around this. And again, you can almost see like someone got a magic marker and they filled it in a bit. So
I like John Carpenter, but he's not Stanley Kubrick. He's not this particular about his shots. He's not hiding secret things that are hidden by the very tiny frame.
You get that, again, 33rd degree Freemasonry. And one thing to notice as well is actually these price tags are a bit different. So again, when they filmed this, they definitely did some editing with this different price tag. Again, moving forward, and you get the other shot from a bit of a distance. And again, there you go. So this just goes to show how they love to leave clues in plain sight.
That's in plain sight? Okay. Fennikagami says there's evidence in the emails that Epstein may have come up with the idea for the poll board on 4chan because of how his emails with the owner of 4chan line up with the creation of poll. Since poll was where so much of the modern rights ideology was curated in its current form, one could argue that Epstein was the architect of the worsening of all bigotries, not specifically trans people. Epstein was very into spreading tribalism and factionalism. Literally the only thing that's connecting it is that he met the guy who had owned 4chan on the same day. I believe it wasn't even that he opened poll, it was that it was already shut and he reopened it. I find that incredibly spurious. I find that to be a stretch. Again, people are drawing connections because, wow, wouldn't it be so great if the world wasn't so terrible and actually it was just this small group of people orchestrating all the bad things you don't like? That's not how the world works.
Comes to what they're all about. Again, nothing's hidden in this world when it comes to the people that are running the show in the Masons in Hollywood as well, that love to leave clues. And definitely showing John Carpenter, the director of They Live, is definitely again, that name, the Prince of Darkness, is very fitting with the Eye of Lucifer in the background. And again, the Eye of Illumination, as I shown earlier. And of course, again, the one-eye symbolism with the movie DVD cover for They Live. And going back in time, back to 1986, John Carpenter also directed a movie called Big Trouble in Little China. And the main character of that movie was a man named Jack Burton, of course, Kurt Russell. And you see here the character Jack Burton being 33 numerology.
Numerology on the bingo card.
And if that's not...
Or gematria, rather. This is gematria, sorry.
enough, take a listen.
Wait, is it? Hold on. No, he's doing a different thing. Numerology, not gematria.
Into this scene with Egg Shen in Chinatown in San Francisco. And just take a listen to this very short clip. Again, Freemasonry in plain sight.
Finally, we shall bring order out of chaos.
And of course, a very famous motto when it comes to Freemasonry. So again, when it comes down to, you're not going to make it big in Hollywood, the music industry, any aspect on top of this world stage, you're not going to make it big unless you're a Mason. You're going to either play the good guy or bad
Very
guy.
random assortment of people. Sylvester Stallone, I think that's Matt Groening, and John Carpenter. Very random three people to pick for that.
Whatever the case is, you're still working for the other side. And just to conclude here with John Carpenter, definitely through signs and symbols, you know what this man is all about.
Keep us asleep.
Let's take a look at the bingo card, because we got quite a few spaces already. Let's see. We have... Illuminati, Freemasons, Cabal. Rounding error numerology for the fact that he's like, that's a 339, but I'll call it a degree. Satanic. Let me see, what am I missing? I know there's more. Do I not just have regular numerology? If so, then we'll just do gematria for that. That's fine. It's close enough. Alright. Transphobia? I don't think that came up in any of the videos. We were talking about the Epstein thing, but that doesn't count. It has to be in the videos. Oh, reference to the movie They Live. Duh, that was the whole video. Thank you. Alright, let's check out that reptilian dude.
Yeah, I feel him around. He's a little bit hesitant to come through.
So tell us who's coming through.
But yeah, TN, positive reptilian, seems to be. Well, he's just not used to my energy, but he's going to explain about the secret space program. So I'd be more than happy to bring him through. Definitely. So, okay. So going to a channeling state. So it'll take me a second to connect. All right, blessings.
This is just muscle scaly fetishism. Hey, that reptilian might just look like that. Don't objectify him. This definitely isn't someone's fetish, okay? Calm down. Where are his hands? He can't draw hands. He can't draw the rest of the body either, but he really can't draw hands. He's Rob Liefelding, but with hands.
Greetings to you. This is Tian. Blessings to you. Nice to see you again. It's been some time.
Can we tell the reptilian to enunciate?
You can say even I am a little bit nervous. don't believe you're nervous, but I am a little bit. But I'll be happy to answer your questions when you're ready.
What have you been up to?
I love that, like, channelers do this thing sometimes where, like, the alien is constantly in motion. Like, they can't, there's something about the channeling that just kind of, you gotta move around. It's almost like all the aliens have Parkinson's or something. They're all doing a Michael J. Fox impersonation.
For the last 10 years.
Observing your Earth, there is many cloning programs I've been observing, involved with, at least to heal. There have been some human hijackings going on, especially with your president.
Zytam says, on a lighter note, Beyond the Bastards is doing Romana Didulo. The first episode ends with her defeating China's underground attack on China. Yeah, I took a nap and listened to that yesterday. Not much of an... I laid there and I listened to it, basically.
See situation?
With my eyes closed. I wasn't asleep, so I guess it's not a nap.
So, observing, but also being involved to heal the situation. So much of it has been with your government and its dealings with you the people.
Do you still work with the Spitrones 222?
Yes. Of course, that's highly secretive.
Oh, why do you admit it on camera, then?
There is some underground facilities here in Arizona that I'm allowed to speak of. But we also have connections to the Pacific Ocean. Access, meaning as many portals for us to come through in our ships. Of course, we don't make our ships known, but sometimes your satellites pick up on us that are more higher dimensional.
Are you stationed here on planet Earth, or
Dimensions beyond our own? Since he said higher, the ships are in higher dimensions?
is it more than just that?
I am mostly around your moon at this time, but yes, Earth is still my station, but I'm more around your moon at this time.
Does he just never wear a shirt? He's wearing pants. I don't know if you can see, but at the very bottom, you can kind of see his jeans starting. So he does wear pants, this reptilian. Is this just like his gains photo? Like he just wanted to show off his work at the gym? Does he normally wear a shirt?
Are you actively working with human personnel in the military?
Yes, those that connect to the moon surface, like you could say, we just use the word like a secret portion or a secret bay on the moon where it cannot be seen by human eyes. So there is a cloaking device that's used where we are part of your reality, but we are not.
Is that cloaking? That's more like phasing.
What corporations are you subcontracting with at this moment, if you're allowed to say?
Chat, stop thirsting after the reptilian. This is a professional interview. How dare you objectify him?
Public corporations, Raytheon is one. And some of your pharmaceutical companies, but I don't know the names of them at this time. But that's actually for healing the human energies. The pharmaceutical ones are not allowed to be mentioned. Raytheon's like trying to be healed, trying to get better.
You learned it from me. I've never once thirsted after an anthropomorphic anything on this channel. I'll have you know that. That's a fact. You show me a single frame of my streams where I've ever been like, ooh, look at that sexy furry or scaly. That's not my deal. That's not my thing.
Kind of half.
I got different weirder things that I don't talk about.
Lockheed is completely, dark, you can say.
Does Raytheon have access to...
I thirsted for the Guyver. Guyver is an alien mech suit made of flesh. That's a little different. That's basically monster fucker stuff, and that's different.
Medbed technology.
Yes, but they did not show it on the third dimensional scale level.
Are they going to release medbeds soon?
There is nanotechnology that they are working.
I did Pokemon Smasher Pass. I did that for a subathon. That doesn't count.
On to work with the mind.
It's not semantics. There's a difference.
To heal the body, even the soul. But they're very, it's like, let's put, like, it can be used with sound technology. So soon, now realize those higher up are allowed to have it. But for the masses,
Yeah, believe sci-fi tech exists on the bingo
only
card.
certain individuals at this time.
And aliens did it.
But for the people, it's still undocumented at this time.
Are you still building super soldiers?
Of course. For the light, of course. Actually,
Do tieflings count? Tieflings are monsters.
some people that you know, without giving out names. And there is many in your military personnel. Some are actually known that are part of it also. Without going into details.
How do you make a super soldier now? What is the process involved?
This
Well,
is James Rink doing the interview, by the way. This is on Super Soldier Talk.
we'll have to kind of cryptic some of this or keep it. There is
Oh yeah, believes they speak to aliens regularly. We're getting a lot of bingo spaces.
it's kind of like a liquid kind of type of like liquid nitrogen energy is used. So basically, you kind of like have a human cast where
Liquid nitrogen energy? Liquid nitrogen has very little energy. It's so fucking cold.
and of course the embryo is used, but it's basically the embryo is,
When do they start channeling James? Oh, someone already did. The lady who does the channeling and her son died. She did a channeling of James Rink, or she had someone on who did it. I only watched a little bit of it.
given a lot of you could say vitamins not from this earth to
Ooh, space vitamins. That won't be Flintstones vitamins. Those will be Jetsons vitamins. Green Guy with a $3 tip says, I kind of had an existential crisis, or more accurately, close to a panic attack about retiring soon. I guess I'm one of those people that gets stressed out when good things happen to them. If it makes you feel better, I'm very jealous of you. I will never get to retire. My retirement plan is redacted. I'm not allowed to say that on Twitch. Fennikagami says, congrats on having the same sensibilities as Amelie. Do you also thirst for the death claws? Death claws are too scary. No. Needs to be more anthropomorphic than a death claw. Death claw's too much.
to speed up its process of growth. So it can eventually go into a chamber that's the human chamber for it to enhance itself very quickly. So you can make a super soldier in a few days. So basically take an embryo and just speed up the process. So basically, a super soldier can be like 12 years old, but it looks like a man at 30 or 40 years old. But usually the intellect is speeded up where they...
What if I have a power suit? How's that gonna work? How's that gonna work? It's not.
have a mind, not necessarily like an Einstein, but very simple. There's a lot of nanotechnology that's built into it at this time.
Where are you building these bodies?
Alaska. And the moon.
Sure, Alaska and the moon, the two most obvious locations.
Of course, Alaska in a hidden place there.
You thought my retirement plan was the revolution? That's about as close as saying my retirement plan is the rapture. I don't believe in either.
Underground, normally. Very underground. Some are done under the ocean, on the Pacific, without giving out the location.
Tell us about some of the clone bodies that you built for me, James Rink.
Oh, they specifically built clone bodies for him. Now's the time to utilize it, James. You could use one. Your old body kind of crapped out.
Some of that is classified. What is it you want to know about? Like, what details?
The newest generation model. What are some of the upgrades?
The mental capacity is very quick, like a supercomputer. So you can remember things like you're almost like an AI being, like a quantum computer for a mind. Also, you're
They love the word quantum.
very quick, but not too quick, because your body going to handle so fast. So basically, like any type of weapon that you know all weapons, and you can download. There's even like an internet built into you.
You know all weapons.
So you can download like something you would see from a Matrix, like you need to download something. It's actually
The Matrix referenced on the bingo card.
built into, but usually you have to have some kind of receiver, wearing a receiver that connects to your brain. So, but it's still very natural. But yes, you can live for. There are some that can live for.
Benikagami says, to be fair, if the Trump administration has their way, everyone's retirement plans will be the same as yours. Yeah, that's my only, that's kind of my only positive point, is I'm not the only one in this situation, and everyone's gonna get fucked. So, that's good.
Say 1,000 years now, but that doesn't mean it's going to work properly.
At least I won't be lonely in the homelessness camps.
And doesn't mean it needs to live that long, but it has 1,000. It can live for 1,000 years. In most environments, not like you can leave it on Mars for a long time. It can even be deactivated and be reactivated. So,
Does my clone body have knowledge of me in the here and now?
some form without getting too sentimental. Like, it can connect to you and feel like it needs to connect to you and meet you. So a lot of that's been removed, so it doesn't feel like it knows it has a version of you here.
Why does the clone have a consciousness? Shouldn't it just be like a blank slate that you download him into? Are you gonna murder this clone when you transfer James Rink into the clone body? That's terrible.
But not to get too emotionally entangled with that, because that can cause some difficulties. Because they can show up at your front door, basically. Some dudes connect to you telepathically. That's why you're bringing it up, basically.
How much money does it cost to make one of these new super soldier models?
Oh, it's just say around $1 million. Probably more, but we'll just leave it at that.
Is that per body? Per
Yes,
clone?
per body, yes.
How many clones have you made?
5.
What generation of super soldier are you on? Ultra soldier. Ultra soldier, super soldier.
Like the name of it, or
What gen? Like
Gen.
Gen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh,
6.
5 going into 6. Mostly 6, but there's still Generation 5 still going on.
You interpret.
This is a very blasé reptilian. His whole demeanor is just kind of like, whatever, man. Whatever. I feel like the personality doesn't match the drawing. You know what I mean? I think the kind of reptilian with this sort of gym discipline would have a little more of a personality than just like, ooh, whatever, man. Carpkosian with the 20 stream streak says, I made gnocchi, it was good. Are these idiots true believers? I believe they are. One of them's James Rink, who definitely is. This guy I'm pretty sure is. I don't get the impression he's scamming. He might just actually be crazy. Fenekagami says, on a lighter note, I've started giving plasma, which helps with pharmaceutical development, which means they compensate you for it. If anyone needs some extra cash, look into it. You can give more often than whole blood. You do need to pay taxes on it, though. Yeah, I used to do that. It's not a fun time, but it does work if you're desperate and really need some extra money. Given how things are going, maybe I'll get back into it. Who knows?
The number that they gave me, 54363. Sabretooth, 54363.
Interpret in what way? Or...
what do the numbers mean?
Oh. Usually it's birth date, actually, of your clone itself, where it was created. And sometimes it's a location. A lot of that's going to be cryptic, though. And sometimes it can also be longitude and latitude. So.
Who does the Alpha Squad work for?
Did the reptilian show up drunk to the interview? That's the vibe I'm getting. I'm just able to articulate it. It sounds like the reptilian is drunk.
Which planetary
Does he need help?
corporation?
There's a Venus.
Do we need to give him an astral
Is that connected
breathalyzer?
to the Fifth Reich?
Yes.
What is planet Venus like?
It's been terraformed many times, but it is not exactly inhabitable by humans. At least you're humans. The super soldiers have figured out a way to live there without. It's not the Venus that you're seeing right now.
It's not the same. It's not the same Venus you're familiar with.
It has.
It's that extra planar Venus. Okay.
There's another coating around it. Basically, it looks. What you're seeing is not what is there currently.
Does that mean it's covered up with a hologram?
You can say that. Yes.
Can you tell me what the Orion Club organization is?
Dillis Filler says, I don't want to assume, but I'm concerned of how he's moving. It's sometimes indicative of a disability, and I'm concerned someone is taking advantage of him. No, he wasn't moving like that until he started talking as the Reptilian. When you go back to the beginning of this video, he doesn't move like that at all. He just moves normally. So that's something he is choosing to do. I didn't start at the beginning because the beginning is just the human guy talking and it's boring.
It is more like a mental program, a programming of humans. There is an elite energy to, say, plan the future. And also for those that are going to be famous on your
Does he
world.
show the reptile's lower half, or would that be too revealing? I think he'd be too embarrassed to reveal how big he made the bulge. Embarrassingly so.
So literally building your celebrities or controllers, as you call them, which is actually done. You can say that's actually done thousands of years in your past that's set for your future. I mean, it's designed in the past, but it sees very much into the future. There's also AI programs that plan the future. You can say basically your whole reality is artificial intelligence assimilated.
What does that even mean? Your whole reality is artificial intelligence assimilated? Word salad. Word salad on the bingo card.
Can you give us information on how you saved my life off-world
Off-world.
when they left me to die?
We basically
He got better.
through a portal. Basically, first off, we picked up your life signs that you were still alive. And we opened up a portal. We had to actually go through many planetary star systems to find you. They weren't easy to locate. But you did have like a homing device connected to you, but it was faintly working. And when we found you, we put a life a system on you so you can stay alive. But yeah, you were barely hanging in there.
How come my unit left me to die?
Yeah,
He sounds like this is an awkward HR meeting. Why did my team leave me to die? Oh, well, that's okay. We got
stabbing, it seems. Not by all units, but there was one that turned against you from what I can see. One stabbed you in the back, actually, because it was an infiltrator. It was one of the dark. So, and the others were told to leave by commanding officers because they had no choice.
Cosmic Cat says, I wonder if anyone ever put together the stories between different people and they don't line up. That does happen, and they have an excuse for that, and it is the multiverse. Because of course it is.
Which is
There's a multiverse, and there's a variety of timelines. So you can contradict each other as much as you want.
that has to be classified of why that occurred. But your team did want some of your members when, well, basically it was seen as you were actually told by them that you were part of the enemy. Actually, of course, that was this information, but to just basically pull you out of the system altogether.
So they said I was the enemy and my own team members believed it?
They didn't really believe it, but they were told to leave you alone. So most of them did not believe it.
What
Sounds
does
like the Scaly's been hitting the
he
skooma.
do with the recovered body?
Reformat it, rebuild it. So it's still alive from what I can see.
Did you send it back to the Alpha Squad,
Yes.
even though they tried to have me killed?
Yes, but this is more of the more positive.
Solaris
side of
Sun Lion, thanks for following. Dillis Filler says, well, I can't speak for other members of your team, but I'm sure there was a good reason for them leaving you to your apparently not certain death. Maybe they just thought you were delusional, like cuckoo bananas.
Not all of it was taken over.
What can you tell me about the CO2 modules that they are ejecting us with?
Mind control, nanobites.
2 words. 3 words. Mind control nanobites. Succinct.
It was giving you visions of other entities that are around also.
Okay. That sounds pretty evil, but you're pretty casual about it, which is interesting. No, that's not MK Ultra. They have to specifically say MK Ultra. Green guy with a $5 tip says, Hannah, I have no idea what this guy is talking about, but plasma's also needed for people with cancer, so I have friends whom do it for that, and I hope to be able to donate soon. I had counseling today as well, so I'm good, just emotionally tired. I think we're all emotionally tired.
It's kind of like having night vision, similar to that. So so you can see multi-dimensional.
Will you get banned if you say he's talking in the Kirk pose? No. You can talk about Star Trek all you want here.
How are they wiping my memories?
Or do you mean Charlie?
Currently,
I can't tell.
or in that super soldier program.
I guess currently in this body, in the here and now.
Are you including gang violence?
It is nanotech technology that's connected to satellites, but not in your physical. But yeah, it's kind of a
Viz with a $3 tip says, no message, just keep up the good work showing us these mad folks. Thank you.
fight with that.
Charlie Kirk.
I mean, you're trying to keep
You're all right. You're all right here.
open, but yeah, that's happening in your astral to keep things, awakened, but it feels like you have no choice to shut things down.
Any plans to cover the crypto meltdown? Maybe. We haven't done a crypto cringe stream in a really long time. So I guess I'll look. I'll look and see if there's enough material. I don't know if there's any interesting meltdowns or people just freaking out, because Bitcoin's way down. Like, I even looked today and it was down like another $10,000 from the day before. It's like crazy. Let me take a look real quick what it's at. Yeah, it's down 12% today. It's $63,000 today. A month ago, it was at 93. Jesus. I would like it to crash for good this time. I'm pretty skeptical that it will, because it's crashed many times before and then over the course of like a year or so spins up higher than ever. I really don't know, but damn, it'd be nice if it crashed and Tether went down too.
Like if you keep your memories, for your memories to occur, it'll be difficult to have an incarnation here. Like you won't have one. So it's basically for your safety right now.
For me not to remember.
Yeah.
What would happen to me if I was to...
You can get sick very easily.
Because of?
Because an attack, like a laser attack, like from astral. Or...
A laser from the astral realm is going to make you sick. Fuck germ theory, okay? These people have no idea how much sickness comes from the astral plane.
A physical astral can hit you.
What are data bytes?
They go into the brain and remove molecules, and they will also put on false memories. So basically, they're false memory machines. Yes, go ahead.
You said that your species was taken over by negative beings. What does that mean?
Not all of it was taken over. Some of us survived, but yes, it was infiltrated from the inside. Basically, many of the leaders were taken over, replaced by other beings. You can say clones. exam. So, and I barely survived it, actually. Because I understand there's a preservation of the human.
Yeah, GameStop bought into Bitcoin at the top at like 120,000, and it's way down now. I don't know if they sold yet, but I kind of hope they didn't. I kind of hope they drop it. Like, whatever the bottom is, I hope that's when they sell.
Human race, and not just the human race, of our race.
But don't forget, Ryan Cohen is a genius investor. He just continually makes bad decisions about the company for some reason.
Race. But the humans were like a brotherhood. You know, reptilians and humans are related. So we need each other, basically.
Who stole the pages from my journal?
All right, we could probably be done with Reptilian Man. I think we get the gist. Let's see what's next. Oh, we should probably look at the bingo card. Jesus Christ, how much shit did we get? Let's see. Believes they speak to aliens regularly. Believes sci-fi tech exists. Clones. Dimensions beyond our own. Word salad. I'm going to say conspiracy theorist tells on themselves for the drawing of the reptilian, because it was very fetishy. It felt like weird reptilian fetish porn. Which is fine, but, you know, I think that's telling on yourself. Reptilians, of course. The Matrix. Aliens did it. Think that's it? Is there anything else? Did we? I don't think we had Mark of the Beast. Someone says 2, but I don't think so. Yeah, I have the Matrix. The Matrix is marked. Popular media is evil, for they live. Sure. Rick M with 40 bits says, talking about fathers, mine was a great guy. I guess I'm really lucky and grateful. He passed many years ago. He helped so many people. Not perfect, but I still miss him. Atheist. Yeah, that's great. Everyone who has a decent parents should be very thankful. What do I want to cover next? Oh no, Wretched Recess has a video about the Grammys, and I'm gonna make you watch it. That sucks.
Welcome back to the channel. The Grammy Awards are on this Sunday, and I honestly don't think I've seen the Grammy Awards since the early 90s.
But of course, she's gotta watch it so she can make her stupid video. Steve with a Q says, don't be so sure Bitcoin will stabilize. Quote, our Bitcoin price target is 0. That's not just the for shock factor. It's where the math takes us. Richard Farr, chief market strategist and partner at Pavotis Partners. The market can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent. The markets are irrational. Obviously, the real value of Bitcoin is 0. But people can remain incredibly irrational about it as an engine to make money and to speculate. So even though, yes, it's worth nothing, if people are willing to buy it in the hopes that they can sell it to people later, and there's enough people continually doing that, then it'll always be worth something. There's dumb people born every minute. There's gullible people, there's desperate people wanting an easy way to make money because it's so difficult to make it legitimately for so many people.
One of the last things I remember was the Milli Vanilli disaster. So that's why I'm showing you these pictures here. But some
SEO Monster says, bingo, can you post... It's always difficult when someone on YouTube has it. can you post to the Discord in the live stream chat the link to your board if that's what you're saying? If you weren't just trying to do the command,
Something happened
so I can check your bingo card
after the last year's Grammys. Literally the day after last year's Grammys, which I didn't even watch, I just had heard that they were on. I've been wanting to play another game on this channel, and literally the day after the Grammys were on, I was like, oh my gosh, Pentagrammys. That is like the best name for a game on this channel that I could think of. Pentagrammys, right? I love it. Now, I have attempted a game on my original channel. The first time this channel was up, we reached 800 some subscribers, and I had to stop the video a second. I forgot where I was, but anyways, I attempted a game on my original
You've been
channel.
on for a minute. You already forgot.
I had this pedo scavenger hunt. I had all of these fun categories. I played the game, and I was literally the only one that played. So maybe we'll have to try this again in the future. That was a very fun and creative game, okay? And nobody played it. So I am hoping that you guys, at least some of you, okay, we have 1,000 subscribers now. I hope a few of you, a handful of you, something, will play my game Pentagrammys with me. Now that I have that...
She's just the absolute worst. One sec. Fenigami with 40 bits says, crypto-related, CoffeeZilla is currently in the process of destroying Logan Paul in court. Logan's desperate to get deposition declared confidential so he can bury the lawsuit, and CoffeeZilla is being a bro and sharing everything his lawyers find on Logan with the class action lawsuit against him over his crypto scam. Wonder what WWE will do with him after his public image is completely destroyed since he bought his way into the company with a sponsorship. Did he really? I didn't know anything about that. That's fucking gross.
HD antenna, I just feel unstoppable. I watched the whole...
WWE as an organization is not great. Let's put that out there.
Globes.
I feel for the wrestlers. I feel for the performers. They're putting in a lot of work. They're damaging their bodies for something they love to do and for the enjoyment of the fans, and they just get fucked over constantly by management. It's disgusting.
Now I'm going to watch the Grammy Awards for the first time in years. Okay, so hopefully I can explain what I'm thinking. If anything doesn't make sense, just ask me, in the comments, and I'll try to clarify. But here's my thought. Here's what I'm thinking. You are going to draw or print out just like a simple pentagram like this, but make sure those spaces... Hold on, let me get a pointer. Make sure the spaces, in the middle and around are bigger because you're going to write in them. So not a lot, just here's the game. You are going to pick an occult topic like satanic symbolism or like tranny stuff because, we're going to be watching...
Strike one.
Well,
transphobia on the bingo card.
I am going to be watching like the red carpet and then the award show, and usually like the music award shows are pretty messed up. I've seen summaries of like the American Music Awards, for example, and there's so much like lots of crazy symbolism. So pick a category, like a topic, and then you're going...
The power water stuff you see placed around the ring is part owned by Logan Paul. Ew.
Going to try to find things...
The world is so fucking gross.
Throughout the...
I am so tired of how humans interact with each other and just, like, rich people fucking over everyone for their own deranged, never-ending search for more money. Why can't they just be normal and just want to live a life and have a family or be alone if they want? But just like have a house, chill out, be fine. These people are psychotic.
Show that match your topic. For example, if you pick satanic symbolism, for example, you're going to put like somebody gives us the devil horns, people all dressed in red. Somebody...
you can't wear red, otherwise she's gonna call you a Satanist, I guess.
Splashed with blood, that happens a lot, or I mean, I know it's happened before on these award shows. So you're going to try to find things and write them here that match your topic. If you wanted to go with like the tranny stuff,
Strike two.
you could put like Bigfoot here. You could put woman with an Adam's apple, woman 20 times taller than her date, person, wearing pearls, that kind of a thing. So all of the symbolism and all of the stuff that we talk about on this channel, it's going to go right here into this game. So I want you to do that, and you can fill out one, you can fill out more than one. Also kind of make it like a little art project.
How is this a game? This is literally just you writing your conspiracy theories in a shape. I don't feel like that's much of a game.
This creative, like you can decorate your pentagram. You can tell I taught elementary school for a very long time.
That's depressing.
Don't put some glitter on it.
Do you think she transvestigated the children?
Decorate it. Do whatever you want. You're going to get points for creativity. So I'm hoping people will send me these to my email, wretchedrecess@gmail.com, wretchedrecess@gmail.com, okay? Submit whatever you want, and then I'll have to pick a winner. Maybe we'll vote. Like, we'll see. I am curious to see if anybody will send them in. I will share mine. I'm going to be doing this. Maybe we'll vote, but there will be a prize involved. Not to brag, the other day I woke up $4.47 richer. I sold my very first Wretched Recess shirt on
Wasn't me. Oh my god, you only made less than $5 for a shirt? Jesus Christ. What's even the point? Razor Sharp G with 21 months says, been a long while. Good to catch one of your lives after so long. It's good to see ya.
Bonfire.
And there's a tip also. Green Guy says, Hannah, I'm so glad I took a guy's advice 18 years ago to put more money into my Navy 401k, and he got me into looking into it, and for 14 years I put 20% of my income into my retirement, and now the money works for itself. Talking about this helps. I'm very glad for you. I'm very glad that you have retirement.
Search Wretched Recess on that bonfire.com. I posted this somewhere on my channel. I'm too lazy and tired to find it right now. But yes, thank you. I sold my very first shirt. I swear this wasn't me. And the person who bought the shirt said they're going to send in pictures. So I'm excited for that.
Do you think she's going to transvestigate her fan?
Anyways, your prize will cost $4.47. Just kidding. I will put together like a little prize package, and yeah. So shout out to CC Ann. CC Ann 19 is the person who bought the very first Wretched Recess shirt. I don't even have one yet. So thanks again. Can I get a thumbs up for the name Pentagrammies, though? Come on, that's like, it's so good. All right, so hopefully you understand what I'm asking you to do. If not, just ask any questions below. Pick a category of your choice. Find some messed up things that you find at the Grammy Awards. Fill these in, send them to me, and I hope you play, because I can't wait to see what you come up with. I am deep diving here on the Dodger. I know it might seem like I'm a little obsessed. I just keep finding such interesting information. So that will be like the next full-length video, but I have to finish the one book that I'm reading. Just life update. My class has started. After this spring, good news, you'll have me all to yourself. I graduate this spring, but I am just in the thick of school right now and work. So I'm a little bit busier right now, but can't wait to make this video here in the next few weeks. I came across a Johnny Depp article the other day that said, he said he likes to stay home and think and write and watch weird stuff on YouTube. So we all have that in common with Johnny Depp. Hopefully he's a Wretched Recess fan, right? and then he made a comment. It was something to the effect of like,
Can we get a Fleur for Space Denier next?
that
Probably.
can't be healthy. What do you mean? We're totally normal.
I did see the picture, by the way. You're across from a NASA facility. That's funny.
Right? Yeah, I need to get to sleep, but I'm gonna post this. I hope you guys like the game idea. Pentagrammies. Let me know, and I'll see you guys soon. Sorry it's been a couple weeks since I posted anything. Talk with you soon. Talk with you after Sunday. Okay.
I think that's a terrible game. At least if it was bingo, it would be like in rows and stuff, and you could win. This is just an exercise in writing all your conspiracy thoughts down. I don't get it. Let's see what's next. Let me see where I might have a space denier or something. I don't remember exactly what I pulled up today. Be funny if I didn't pull up any flat earthers today. It's gotta be one. No, not that one. I don't think I pulled any flat earthers today. That's impressive. Okay, so no flurfers. Fennikagami says, in other news, OpenAI is doing so badly right now that even Nvidia is losing faith in them. Probably why crypto is tanking. The tech industry is losing its mystique and such. All tech stocks are going down as a consequence. That would be great. Like, I don't have any delusions of the market disappearing, but if it could at least learn the lesson that tech bros are constantly fucking lying to them. Sam Altman is basically a prosperity gospel preacher for AI and just telling all these rich people and institutions, just give me your money. Just give me your money. Tithe for the AGI. Give enough money and your tech god will appear and you won't have to pay for employees anymore. It's deranged. It's basically med beds for rich people. It's a delusional sci-fi idea that is being sold to them with ridiculous promises that will never be fulfilled, but they all want to believe it, so they keep throwing money at it. It's crazy.
Cathedral, the Notre Dame Cathedral, the Windsor Castle, St. Stephen's Cathedral in Vienna, Austria, the Cologne Cathedral, the Tower of London, and Edinburgh Castle. They all have one massive thing in common. What is it? All of these places having this one thing that shows that the mainstream history is not giving us the full picture, and it's not even close. Massive palaces all over the world, constructed with perfection, and not one of these structures was built with a toilet. We are told that humans could ride on their donkeys without a light bulb and without a road, and construct palaces in every single country. Yet they had to go to the bathroom in their yard and wipe with a leaf. No.
They didn't have complex indoor plumbing, so you wouldn't want to shit in the house, because there's nowhere to go. Like, you're gonna shit, at best if you're in the house, you're gonna piss into, what do they call them? You put them under the bed. I forget what they're called. Chamber pots, thank you. They had chamber pots, and you would dump them out. Because there's nowhere else for it to go. They didn't have plumbing in the way we have currently. Where do you expect the shit to go?
We're living in the ruins of the previous civilization. A civilization that either didn't use toilets at all, or this group of people were so advanced that they used a form of plumbing and sanitation that is completely misunderstood to us today. A way to remove the waste so that it's not inside your house. It was repurposed by the people who came after.
They shit in pots or in outhouses.
What was repurposed? Not the toilets, because they didn't have any. So many of these structures, in my opinion, are repurposed, and they now need a toilet. We have shown that by using the organ in these cathedrals, it resonates with the bones below the floors. We are told that humans built the Milan Cathedral, but couldn't figure out how to manage human waste. We are told...
Yes! It's a really difficult problem. I think people take so for granted things like this. Waste management is a monumental, constantly ongoing effort in maintenance and construction and making sure you have the capacity to deal with it. This stuff is just in our house and we don't think about it, so people think it's easy. Plumbing on the level that we have in the United States is a miracle. It's a miracle that we have it. You are taking it so for granted that you can't imagine a world without it. Oh, God. Jade Monkey with a 3-stream streak says, it's actually Anor Londo. I don't get it.
That they just put their waste in the streets. They tell us that they dumped it out of the windows with a bucket and wiping with their hand. This is the story. This doesn't translate to constructing perfect palaces.
They're unrelated. You can construct a giant cathedral over decades or centuries and shit in the street. Those two things are not antithetical to each other, and I cannot for the life of me understand why, other than he thinks they are aesthetically incompatible, which isn't how reality works.
Architectural
Unstable Deadbeat says, people could do this thing, but couldn't do this other totally unrelated thing. It must be a conspiracy.
designs that blow our minds today. Now, thinking logically, if you could build this, and this with perfection, zero mistakes, and they're still here today, then
why are you assuming there were zero mistakes in the construction?
would be able to design a sewer system that we use today.
Those are completely different skill sets. Those are completely different things. Do you understand the difficulty of, like, tunneling underground? Especially in an era like this? Not easy.
And we all know it. No running water, yet constructing granite with precision. If you don't have running water, it's incredibly dangerous for the entire population. You have filth everywhere.
Oh, well, it's a good thing that human history isn't full of dangerous situations where people didn't have potable drinking water. Oh, wait, that actually happened all the time and killed a lot of people? Oh, fuck. I guess I'm just obsessed with the idea that reality is perfect and nothing can go wrong.
Diseases. Nobody is bathing. And according to the mainstream history, we are all told that ancient Rome, Greece, Mesopotamia, and the Indus Valley, they all had running water, public baths. The Romans supposedly had aqueducts, underground sewage.
Yes, those are different civilizations. Different civilizations have different skill sets and different materials to work with and different environments for which to work within. Stone Corbell says, spacefaring alien conspiracy theorist. Wow, this species human figured out music, but they can't break the speed of light barrier? That makes no sense. Green Guy says, prepping land for a garden with hand tools isn't easy and takes time. They had lots of time back in the day. Yeah, they did.
All of this over 2,000 years ago. This is what we are told. And then the year 500 hits. And that technology, it just vanishes. It's just gone. Nobody has running water anymore.
Yeah, Rome collapsed.
No pipes and no baths. Just ragging themselves off over in the pond. And this carries all
You ever notice that this guy has a lot of derision for human beings? Like, it's just like he's disgusted by human beings and the things we've had to do to survive historically. So he's like, no, it can't be true.
The year 1800. I believe that this is the mainstream narrative, admitting that the previous civilization was here. In this timeline that they show us, they are admitting that plumbing, clean water, and bathing actually happened. And then something massive happened. The advanced civilization was gone. And the mainstream narrative calls them the ancients, the Roman Empire, when this was just the previous civilization. Because
wait, does he now think Rome is the civil? Wait, what?
Because we didn't evolve and we didn't advance at all. We went backwards 100%.
Is he gonna somehow conspiracy himself into, like, actually being like, oh yeah, Rome was the thing, and then it collapsed, at least in the East, and then things got worse? Is he gonna accidentally, like, reorient himself into actual history? That would be hilarious.
Something happened. We are told that plumbing just started back up in the 1840s. again and again and again in our timeline over and over. You can go back to episode 10 and 38. We've been saying this for years. It doesn't matter what topic you bring up. Everything starts back up in the 17 or 1800s.
Sorry, Western Empire.
Look at any
Misspoke.
basic invention. The plane, the TV, the phone, the light bulb, the population data spikes. You can read the stories, and they will all tell you that they discovered sites in the 1800s. They never discovered this stuff before it. We've documented this hundreds of times.
People weren't making a concerted effort to what?
Now, our civilization's timeline just started, and we are being given back the old world technology. There was a reset, and it's beyond obvious at this point, where some people still didn't have plumbing until the 1970s. So after all of this, the question remains, why were these massive palaces constructed all over the world, covered in gold?
Again, they're not palaces. He uses the word palace to mean any big building that he thinks is opulent. Like, we have governmental buildings, churches, cathedrals, actual palaces, all lumped into one category here.
Gold, marble, and stained glass, built with perfect geometry, yet they didn't have a toilet. We are just getting started today.
This guy's
So
frustrating.
the question remains, why didn't these palaces have a toilet? You build this massive palace, and you can't figure out how to put a toilet in? We all know.
Where would the waste go if there's no central sewer system for the waste to go to? Where do you think it's going to go?
That this is not what happened. We already know they were technologically capable of putting a toilet in if they wanted to.
It's like he thinks a toilet is just the part you see in your house. It's like once the stuff flushes, he thinks it just disappears into nowhere, and you don't have to think about it anymore.
We can see what they created. These things are still here today. And if you've ever been inside one of these structures, you'll know that they weren't constructed for a simplistic, donkey riding, reading by candlelight,
See what I mean? It's so derisive. Donkey riding. Like,
hut living society. The
he's disgusted by them.
individuals who constructed these palaces were incredible and purposely left the toilets off the blueprints. And I believe they did this because we are not being told what the true purpose of these structures really are.
They're hiding the toilets from us! They're hiding the toilets!
I believe they've been completely hijacked, just like everything else has. I believe that their true purpose was actually to be an energy machine. They were not.
It's not, sir. I can't believe, like, I'm just intrinsically, and I could be wrong about this, back in the day, I imagine the idea of taking a shit in a church or cathedral would be considered incredibly sacrilegious. Like, we're so used to indoor toilets today, we don't give it a second thought. They're in every building. But, like, back then, when indoor toilets were not, like, a common thing, the idea that you would ever, like, excrete within a house of God would probably be considered incredibly offensive. I cannot imagine at the time they would have been okay with that thought. Nineline with a €10 super chat says, this guy's acting like these cathedrals are flawless is so funny to me because St. Stephen's Cathedral here in Vienna infamously has only one spire because they fucked up building the other one.
Not constructed for people to go hang out inside of for long periods of time. And I'm going to prove it right now. Gothic cathedrals are constructed with sacred geometry, constructed using the golden ratio, where we all know that the Notre Dame Cathedral incorporates this ratio all over it, including in its floor plan layout. The golden ratio represents a specific relationship where the sum of two quantities divided by the larger quantity equals the larger quantity divided by the smaller one. These cathedrals are also constructed using the Fibonacci spirals as well as other geometry. These geometric designs, they are created for resonance. And this is where we go even deeper. The layout aligns with frequency harmonics, meaning that these structures were designed to conduct and amplify sound and energy.
Not energy, sound. You have to speak to the entire congregation. You have a choir perhaps singing and you want that to carry. It's not energy, although, you know, sound is like a kind of energy or disrupting. I know. but not in the way he's saying. He's imagining some mystical form of energy that can be harnessed and turned into infinite energy. It's literally for sound.
These structures were not constructed to just go sit inside of the way that we do today, and we are not being told their true purpose. So many cathedrals had massive pipe organs before electricity existed. Well, so we're told. Where so many times these organs were destroyed, renovated, or removed, including...
Yeah, they'd have to be at some point. Are you familiar with the concept of entropy? Shit breaks down. You can't have the same organ for like 3 centuries.
The Notre Dame Cathedral, where the grand organ has undergone multiple so-called reconstructions. Portions of the organ have been destroyed during the French Revolution. Another example of this is at the St. Paul's Cathedral, located in London, England, where the original organ was removed in the 1800s yet again, removing and reconfiguring the original pipes. Even in the Cologne Cathedral, Germany, where the organ was removed and lost. Give me a break. Doing this
guy has 268,000 subscribers, by the way.
In the 1800s yet again, during a series of so-called restoration projects, where even the replacement was destroyed during World War II, which is crazy because the building survived and they made an agreement that you couldn't bomb it. So why was the organ being destroyed? And the further you go, the more you see how this happened everywhere. France, dismantling another organ. Spain, one was destroyed by fire, of course. And the Milan Cathedral, where it was home to one of the largest pipe organs in Italy. And over time, significant components were removed or downsized. I believe these structures didn't have plumbing because they were not places for people to stay for long periods of time. Were these places for people to go and heal, people to walk through? They would step
Hospitals have bathrooms. That wouldn't even make sense.
in and get their frequency corrected, and then they would step out. It's all very interesting, especially when we see something shocking, and we take this even further, that the materials used for these structures, such as granite, limestone, and quartz, were used in the construction. And
No, we haven't watched this video before. He did a different video on this a while back, and this is his, like, follow-up video.
they were, as we have documented so many times, brought from far distances. Now, why would you do this? They would do this because they needed it to be perfect. And these materials
They
are
do it because those are the materials that lasted a long time and were worthwhile, and they wanted to build a house of worship, so they wanted it to look nice because they were doing labor for God as far as they were concerned.
known for their piezoelectric and electromagnetic properties when stimulated by sound or pressure. These materials can emit charge or affect energy fields. These places were not at all what we've all been told. And I'm not so sure we should be going in some of these today, since we all know they've been hijacked, they've been taken over, they've been repurposed, and we all know so many of them have a lot of bones underneath the floors, which we've also shown have piezoelectric properties. The same thing that these structures are built with. These structures are not constructed for somebody to stay in for long periods of time. I believe these structures were originally created to be a place to undergo a healing experience like we've never seen before. And today, the organs are gone. They're destroyed or renovated. They've been changed, possibly to frequencies that it was never meant to be. And now we stay in these places for a very long time. So long that we need to go to the bathroom. And then we come sit back down. I don't believe that that was ever supposed to be the case. Healing centers that have been altered, and this is documented like we have shown. Going even further, these stained glass windows also give off a frequency where light isn't just illuminated.
Everything has a frequency, I guess.
Red,
Everything's magic energy.
blue, green, and violet light all impact the body in different electromagnetic ways. The stained glass, it filters sunlight through a very specific frequency, and the entire interior.
He's using AI, by the way. You can tell from the formatting he's asking, like, ChatGPT that he's already brainwashed into his weird beliefs and having it do arguments for him.
Is filled with color therapy. What have we just found? Color therapy. We have been fully unaware of what these structures are for so long. It's time that this technology is brought.
Okay. That's as much of him as I can deal with today. Let's move on. Zytam with a bingo. Let's take a look. Illuminati uses AI, free space. Wait, did we have uses AI? Oh, he used AI, so we do have uses AI. Reptilians, the Matrix. Yep, Zytam's the winner. I will write down your name. Let me know what you want to do with the sub whenever you decide. So that's our official bingo winner today. The person in YouTube never posted in Discord, so. Zytam wins. Congrats.
Folks, what if trees weren't always rooted in the ground? Is that a strange question? Well, the reason I ask that question is because what I'm about to discuss seems to come straight out of J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. I want you to imagine, if you will, an era long before recorded history, before the great flood of the Bible.
No, it's not sky trees. It's maybe dumber than that.
When plants thought, moved, and even spoke. Think about this. Across the world, we find stories of this idea in mythology and folklore.
Insert clip of the trees from Wizard of Oz throwing apples.
Tales of living trees and walking plants. Beings that were said to roam the earth like any other creature. Until something changed. Some say they were turned to stone. Others say that they were rooted in place forever. Silenced by a great catastrophe. Like many other things that we think are just fairy tales, maybe these stories are more than just metaphors and make-believe. Maybe they're distant memories of a forgotten time.
Maybe they're not. Maybe people just tell stories a lot. Maybe people make up a lot of stuff, especially mythologically. That'd be a simpler explanation, would it not be? Considering we still see people making shit up all the time?
World where nature was awake, aware, and far more alive than anything we see today.
Oh, this is actually different. It's not giant trees, it's talking trees. This is different.
Maybe the ancient giant trees of the old world were not just cut down or destroyed. Maybe they were murdered.
Ooh, they murdered the trees! Hydrate.
In the Lord of the Rings,
Hey, Caesar
there's
Bishop,
the
how's it going?
Ent, or the tree people, right? I know it's just fantasy, but isn't fantasy, in many cases, based on some type of real ancient history?
Not in this way. Not in the way you're describing. So, like, Middle-earth has a lot of elements of, like, medieval Europe. But, like, that doesn't mean any of the creatures are real. You know what I mean? It's kind of like how Spider-Man comics take place in New York City, and New York City is real, but that doesn't mean thousands of years from now people should assume that the Green Goblin caused 9/11 or something. You know what I mean?
It's not just imagined. The idea comes from somewhere, right? So there's a story in the ancient Maya text known as the Popol Vuh.
Is there a word for conspiracy theorists' inability to understand that human beings in ancient times were creative, just like people are in the modern day? It's like this weird block where they think of ancient humans as like a different species entirely.
There's a story about the first humans that were shaped from wood. Now, before you start to think that sounds crazy, remember the Bible
Too late.
says we were formed from dust.
Yeah, I also think that's crazy.
Okay, so
Before you say that's crazy, remember the other crazy thing you believe.
these early humanoids, I guess you could call them, They could move and speak, but something was missing. They had no souls, no true connection to the divine. The story goes that when they failed to honor the gods, the deities unleashed destruction upon them, and those hollow wooden beings were transformed into trees. From that point on,
I wish I was a tree. That seems chill. Stone Corbell with 100 bits says, 1,000 years from now, an archaeologist listens to fragmented video recordings. The woman in purple says the Green Goblin caused 9/11. The rest of the recording is lost. You know what? Fuck it. Sure. I'll go with that. Fenekagami says, after the MAGA meltdown over the Grammys, I'm looking forward to the Super Bowl more than I ever have in my life. The cope they're going to have over the failure of their All-American halftime show is going to be great. Trump's already saying he won't attend the Super Bowl, citing some BS, and we all know it's because he'd get booed out of the stadium. I don't think they're going to admit failure on their, like, weird secondary Kid Rock halftime show, no matter what. They're going to say it's a big success, regardless of how many viewers it has. I think that's the funniest thing about modern conservatives is they have to pretend to like Kid Rock because it's become a culture war thing for them. And like, I'm taking politics completely out of this. Like, forget all of my lefty stuff. Forget what a shitbag Kid Rock is. His music is genuinely like the worst music I've ever heard in my life. Like, I don't understand how he has a fan base. And now Republicans have to like pretend to like him. And a lot of them almost certainly don't, because his music is, like, really bad, but they have to pretend. So that's a little funny.
Were said to whisper and moan, their voices carried in the wind, their cries echoing through storms as...
Ew, Green Guy says, Hannah, if our fingers bent both ways, do you think we could hold 2 cups in one hand, like a palm drink and a backhand drink? I'd rather not think about it, because that's disgusting. That's disgusting. Both ways. No. Dr. Worm says, they say they're canceling the Super Bowl halftime, but you know they'll watch it. It'll probably have record viewership. They love being outraged at things, posting about them on social media, etc. They won't be able to help themselves. They'll at least watch clips. We're on a hype train again, 46% to level 1. If you want to help the hype train, you can use bits or subs.
If remembering their lost humanity. The Aztecs have similar tales of a previous sun, in an earlier version of the world in which tree-like beings walked the earth, and then they were turned to stone when that age ended. In the oral traditions of the Zulu and Dogon peoples, there are stories of massive beings.
This is just an exercise in syncretism.
Tree-like
Tea Time Tea, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs.
entities known as forest elders. According to legends, they could move through the forests, communicate, and interact with humans. And these forest elders were said to possess wisdom and power that stretched across generations. And
the images are AI slop, but the guy is like an actual guy. He's been doing stuff for 9 years.
Encountering one,
so this is his actual script.
Could change a person,
to my knowledge,
forever.
Stone Corbell, thanks for gifting a sub.
The Dogon, in particular, talked about the Nomo, which were sky beings who descended from the heavens to bring life to earth. They were described as planting ordinary life.
Green Guy says, and I talk to my plants and pets, who cares? At least they don't answer back.
As well as hybrid forms that were something between plant and animal. Some of these creations were said to have traits of both vegetation and sentient beings. They were aware.
Like they grow leaves, but they also have anxiety. Like Timothy Green. Overthought, thanks for gifting a sub.
And capable of growth and movement.
I think an Odd Life of Timothy Green joke is the furthest I've been away from successfully achieving comedy, is referencing the Odd Life of Timothy Green. I'm going to put that down as the worst joke I've ever told. And I'll take that L. I deserve it.
The Nomo's role in these stories suggests that there was a fluidity between life forms. In Yoruba mythology, the Iroko tree, it's the same idea. It is said to be the spirit of an ancient tree that can traverse worlds, moving between the physical and spiritual realms. And Iroko tree was alive, sentient, and aware of its surroundings. Some tales say that under the moonlight, these tree spirits could uproot themselves and walk around freely. And of course, the witnesses who encountered them, when they returned from the forest, they were never the same again.
You read in stories because you're not talking to witnesses. You're reading a story that says there are witnesses. There is such a big difference between those two things. I cannot begin to express how frustrating it is to me when people read a story and they're like, look at all the witnesses in the story. And it's like, the story just says there were witnesses. That's not a first-hand account. I can write right now, 10,000 witnesses saw me win the lottery. Look at how many witnesses. It doesn't matter. You just wrote it. You didn't prove it. You didn't demonstrate there were actually witnesses. You just claimed it. Toreador with 100 bits says, just in case any of you have any shred of your faith in humanity left floating around, AI agents are now hiring humans. Oh, I actually did hear about this. That's so stupid. Dillis Filler with 40 bits says, I've slaved at my wordsmithy for many minutes and have arrived at this word, up with which I have just come. Disanthropochrony. Disanthropochrony. I can't pronounce it.
In Hindu mythology, there are stories of beings called Vanaspati and Yakshas. These were creatures that existed somewhere between human and plant. They were said to guard sacred groves and maintain the balance of life within them. They could move through the forest as freely as any animal, interacting with their environment and other creatures.
Benekagami with 40 bits says, oh, I know they won't admit it's a failure. Kyle Kalinski's right that modern conservatism is a postmodernist movement. There is no the truth. There is only my truth for them. I mean, hell, they're starting to defend Epstein now. They have no real beliefs. It's all about owning the libs. Hell, their support for anything, it all depends on what Trump's opinion of it is. And to your point, they pretend they love Sydney Sweeney, but none of them watch her stuff. Her last 3 movies flopped. They just liked objectifying a blonde woman. That's what they like. M. Scheffler says, keep the train going if you aren't one of my fellow pores. And Toreador says, Spriggans!
In
Dillis Filler, thanks for 120 bits.
Polynesian tradition, the god Tane Mahuta is known as the father of forest, a divine figure described as a walking tree. Tane Mahuta is said to have separated the sky from the earth, creating space for life to flourish. The imagery of a walking, thinking tree god in this tradition shows an understanding of nature as a living, moving, and intentional presence rather than just scenery.
Toreador says it's Berber Patapim. I don't know what that means either.
There are many ancient
I'm very confused by a lot of messages today.
Eastern texts where vegetation is consistently portrayed as intelligent.
Thanks for the hype train.
Trees, groves, forests, these things were thought to hold knowledge, to communicate, and to act in ways that affected humans and animals. But of course, the ancients have always perceived the natural world in a different way than we do today. There was this big theme of recognizing consciousness in plants and forests that modern science is only starting to look at. Folks, think about all the research that has been done on plant sentience. Look at the science on plant memory and that memory affecting their seeds.
They're not talking about the same kind of memory or sapience or sentience that you're implying. There are systems in plants that we might find analogous to certain things in animals, but they're not the same thing. Plants are distinct. They are not sentient. M. Scheffler says, okay, I'm not poor, but I'm too busy playing Skyrim. That's a good excuse.
They've been researching the idea that plants feel pain. Think about how talking to your plants affects them, playing mood elevating music around them. Researchers have discovered that plants can communicate through underground fungal networks known as mycorrhizal networks, sometimes called the Wood Wide Web. And trees can warn one another of danger and start to share nutrients across long distances and provide
None of this requires sentience or self-awareness. These are automatic systems. Fenekagami says the hilarious thing about the AI hiring humans thing is there's an admission that the truly expendable and disposable position has always been our bosses. We aren't being replaced, our bosses are. I wish that was the case.
nutrient care for younger, weaker saplings. How many of you knew that? Or knew something of the sort? So this system of exchange and awareness...
I've seen this Stargate episode already. Which one? Let's see. Season 2 episode. So, oh yeah, we're there. Yeah. Yeah, I like that episode. We actually just recently watched another really good episode where it was a time loop episode. That was great. I forget the name of it.
Shows that forests
We're on
operate
season 4.
almost like a single intelligent organism, with each tree connected to its neighbor. If you can imagine for a moment, there are examples of movement in the plant kingdom today. Deep in the Amazon, the walking palm tree slowly relocates itself over time. Its roots allow it to inch toward patches of sunlight, almost as if it were actively choosing its place in the forest. The movement...
It's not choosing. You're applying human consciousness to a thing that is not. You can have light sensing cells that trigger systems to grow towards the light. None of that is motivated like a human is motivated to do something. Toriador says, fun fact, the smell of cut grass is actually an alert smell other plants can respond to. And Trey says, I know we moved on a little bit, but I have been thinking about this a lot. With the modern conservative movement, culture is their primary concern. It's the most important thing that everything else is downstream of. Following that stream is then politics that exists to prevent undesirable cultures from taking root and preserve their culture that they desire. Then following after politics is truth, which must conform to their politics in order to curve culture.
is extremely slow, imperceptible within our lifespan, but it does demonstrate that plants are capable of deliberate action.
No, again, you're describing it in human terms. It is not deliberate action. It is automatic responses from their, cells. They're not thinking. They're not aware.
An action that is guided by need and the environment. You know, the mud flood theory suggests that Earth's surface has been reset, buried, and reborn at least a couple of times throughout history. And this idea of a massive cataclysm covering entire landscapes in layers of sediment, erasing civilizations, forests, and ecosystems in a single event. If the ancient forests of myth were truly alive and sentient, then these events could have buried them so completely that they became petrified or fossilized. And this is one of the reasons why we have these theories that rock formations, mountains, or mesas might be the remains of colossal living structures. But what if they were also organisms that once moved and breathed across the earth, now frozen in time? Giant tree stumps scattered across the world could be thought of as remnants of prehistoric trees, right?
Mountain was a tree on the bingo card, yeah.
But the truth could be something much stranger.
Oh, the Odo episode was great. I saw the twist coming for a little bit, but it was satisfying when it happened. It was the Space Nazi episode.
They may
It
represent
was really nice seeing a piece of media that was like, hey, you know how we all hate Nazis and they should die? Isn't that great? And that's the episode. And it's not controversial, and there's no one there to call it woke. They just killed the Nazis and moved on, because that was the right thing to do.
the last traces of a world in which plants, trees, and possibly hybrid life forms were conscious and mobile. In almost every ancient culture, the tree represents a bridge between worlds, a connection between the hidden depths of the underworld and the vast expanse of the heavens. Its roots reach deep into the unseen world, and its branches stretch toward the sky. Folks, maybe what's missing here is the element of a tree possibly existing between dimensions. Something interdimensional.
An interdimensional piece of foliage. Wow.
So what we see, what we observe with a tree is just the physical part of the tree. When its spirit, its sentience may exist beyond this dimension. You see? Think about this for a moment. The trees in Eden weren't just ordinary trees, were they?
Most of them were just trees. The Bible only goes into the tree of the knowledge of good and evil and the tree of life. The rest of the trees, just fucking trees, as far as I know.
They carried awareness. They knew good and evil. They gave eternal.
They did. Nowhere does it say that the tree knew good and evil. It's that when you eat of the fruit, you know good and evil. Nowhere does it say the tree knows these things. What an insane interpretation.
Life. Their fruits transformed consciousness.
And it's a story. It's a mythological story. It didn't happen. Those trees never existed. It's a story. It's a metaphor. Oh my God.
The idea that eating from a tree could change one's understanding and entire life means that those trees were gifted and stored divine intelligence, not just organic matter. In the book of Enoch, Enoch is taken by the angels to a place filled with mystical, fragrant trees, and he describes them as alive with light and power. They seem to have consciousness, and he said they rejoice before the Lord. In the book of Psalms, it reads,
Ancient wisdom on the bingo card.
"Let the heavens rejoice, let the earth be glad, let the sea resound, and all that is in it. Let the fields be jubilant, and everything in them. Let all the trees of the forest sing for joy." In the Epic of Gilgamesh and Inanna's sacred tree were described as living beings inhabited by spirits. The Gnostic tree of life is an axis of consciousness connecting divine realms. Now, folks, none of these describe trees physically walking. But what is consistent across ancient scripture is that trees are sentient.
I like that he doesn't pick anything that doesn't think that. He just cherry picks specific examples of things that vaguely sound like they're describing trees as sentient, and he's saying, this is all of ancient mythology. This is all of it. It all agrees with me.
They can respond, sing. They are spiritual beings inhabited by divine essence or angels. And they are the bridges between worlds, where their roots are in the underworld and their branches in the heavens.
Green Guy says, I feel bad for people like this, whom it seems like they have no imagination. I agree. I do not understand their obsession with taking everything literally and nothing can ever be fictional or imagination. It's bizarre.
So do these ancient texts hint at something without just coming out and telling us that trees at one time could walk and talk? Because while the answer to this question physically may be no, the answer spiritually is yes.
What does that even mean? Physically, no. Spiritually, yes. I don't even know what you mean by that. It's just like, it's true in the sense that it's bullshit I believe, so it must be true on some level.
Well, that's all for now, folks, and there is more to come. I would appreciate it if you would kindly click the thumbs up button and like this video. Leave your thoughts about this in the comments below. Everyone have a great day, and as always, stay awake, stay aware, stay safe, and I'll talk to you all soon.
That's terrible. Again, they have 500,000 subscribers, that channel. Everything's great. Everything's going so well. People are great. They're not crazy. Everything's fine. For sure.
The Lemurians are here to protect Gaia's consciousness. So, here's the history. There were beings.
Green guy says, must have been bad for them as kids. Cops and robbers must have been rough.
Council beings that created Earth, and they came up with the Earth, the design for Earth, which included a very harsh reality that souls could go. It was, like getting the PhD. It's a spiritual PhD school. And so they created.
Can I drop out?
It made it very hard. And what I've just come to realize is that when they did that, they also created, just like the human being is a race that was created in the minds of us when we were other beings. They came up with another race of beings to put on Earth, and those are the Lemurians. But the Lemurians are not here. I mean, I'll have to talk to them to find out more, but they're not here to learn.
Of course, you wouldn't want to presume. You can't get information about the Lemurians wrong. They'll get very upset.
About their soul like humans are. They're not part of the 3D frequency experiment. They were here.
Lemur, Lumeria was named for lemurs. Lemurs are pretty dope. Does anyone remember Zaboomafoo? Zaboomafoo was rad.
Here to protect Gaia, to protect the Earth. That's why they're found under mountains and under the ocean. They are in the fabric of the Earth. And so they are here to protect her, to be an emotional friend to her, because humans go through these periods where they disconnect with her and they're very harsh.
Wait, so Earth needs a emotional support species?
And it's very challenging for, Princess Gaia. Very, very challenging for her.
What is a Zaboomafoo? Zaboomafoo was a children's, I think it was on PBS, a children's educational TV show about animals. They'd bring on different animals. The mascot was Zaboomafoo. He was a lemur. He was usually portrayed by a puppet, but they did have an actual lemur on the show, too.
And when she feels alone.
Yeah, it was the first show by the Krat brothers. I think they've done subsequent programs for kids as well, but I was past the age for this.
So they're here to be with her and to protect her and to be her friend and to protect the Earth and the animals. And so they're the last defense. And I haven't confirmed this, but I'm willing to bet that Sasquatch are another race that's connected with them, because they,
of course, as we all know, Bigfoot are real.
Are absolute protectors.
How are Bigfoot believers still holding on at this point? Like, we never found any bones? So many people are in the woods, and you claim so many sightings, but no one's ever found a single set of bones? That's so insane to me. I understand maybe in the 1970s believing in Bigfoot, but come on. People have been looking, for a really long time. There's so many believers constantly trying to search for them. Let it go. It'd be great. It'd be very cool if there was another hominid species on Earth. I think that would be incredible. But there just isn't, man. We're the last ones standing, and who knows how long we'll be around. Turns out being a hominid, dead end. Dead end, evolutionarily speaking. Don't become a hominid.
People show up and they start chopping down trees and building stuff, and Sasquatch will be throwing boulders at them. They are absolutely protecting the earth. So, and they're not 3D beings either. They bounce back and forth. So that's who the Lemurians are. They were designed by the same people who designed Earth and designed the Earth experiment. And while they were doing that, they said, we have to have some beings there to protect Earth, so they came.
Sorry, Izzy on YouTube says we're homonyms, not hominids. I don't know the difference, but thank you for the correction.
With the Lemurian body and species, which again, souls incarnate as Lemurians. But they're here to protect and to serve. I don't know what other
Hominins are all hominids? Okay, I don't know who to believe anymore. I'll just stop talking.
things they're here to do. I'm sure they're here to learn in their own way, but it's not the way that we do. So they are here to protect Gaia's psyche, her consciousness. Lemurians live in the earth and on the ocean.
I'd probably just create a planet without a consciousness to, get past all this emotional coddling of the planet Earth.
And in the ocean, as I've said. Here's something they said to me. This is almost verbatim. They said that we are the fairies, the elves, the earth spirits of your legends. And I don't know why it's bringing up a lot of emotions for me. But when somebody interacts with a Lemurian, they're going to experience them as these kinds of beings. So I know what elves are. The word elf means shining ones, and I know that is directly connected to extraterrestrials. But bear in mind, we see extraterrestrials as being foreign. They're from other planets, other civilizations. That's from our perspective. From the extraterrestrials' perspective, they're not foreign at all. They're part of this multiverse, and Earth is part of that, and you are there, you were once on their planet, and so
I'm kind of sick of multiverse movies. Could we detach Earth from the multiverse so we can get normal movies again?
So they don't see themselves as strangers. Earth is just one of the neighborhoods that they have access to. So they don't see it the way that 3D humans do. And so the same with Lemurians. They are directly connected to these other beings, and they don't see themselves as different. Humans are the only beings that see themselves differently and see themselves disconnected. So the Lemurians don't see from that planet or from
this just feels like he's projecting from a drug trip. Certain drug trips on certain hallucinogens, I've heard, will make you feel like you're connected to everything. Like there's no difference between you and the air around you and the objects around you and nature. You feel, and I know if you've never experienced this, it's hard to describe. I'm describing it the best I can. You just feel like you are a part of everything, and everything is a part of you, and it's all flowing. It doesn't make any sense because it's not logical. Your brain is on drugs. You're tripping on drugs. It's a nonsense experience you're feeling because your brain is fucked up. So he's taking that experience and saying that's the norm, and actually humans who are sober are wrong.
This planet, they're all my family. I love everybody. So they interact with us when we do experience them. We see them as fairies, as elves, as earth spirits. Every culture has their own particular brand, and they can shapeshift and look like different beings to us. They can look like humans, they can look like ants, they can look like fairies, they can look like, sea creatures.
Penekagami says, first someone says, that's not solipsistic at all. It actually isn't. I would almost call it the inverse of solipsism, because solipsism is the belief that you are the only consciousness that exists. ego death is almost the opposite, in that you don't feel like your individual person, exists at all. You're all just part of a system, and everything is connected. So I would say it's the opposite of solipsism, actually. It's different. Fennikagami says, I've said this before, why do all these guys come up with the lamest lore ever? You'd think not giving a fuck about the laws of physics would free them to create fun stuff, but every time these people explain their lore, I'm immensely bored. Maybe it's the drugs? It's probably not helping. I don't think drugs actually make you creative like a lot of people think. It's my opinion.
They can look however they want. And also, you know, if they show up, again, they're an energy being.
Oh, you meant him being drugged as the normal thing? Yeah, fair enough. Sorry.
Our brains that's a whole other. If you want me to make a video about how our brains do what I'm describing, our brains turn them into whatever we want to see them as. I think that's true with Sasquatch to some degree. I know it's true with things like Dogman and other demonic beings.
Of course, Dogman.
We actually turn them into physical beings. They're not physical beings. So if you want me to explain that, put a comment, put it in the comments, and if enough people ask for it, I'll make the video. Lemurians returned to their frequency when Atlantis fell. I already told you that.
Atlantis on the bingo card.
The king of Atlantis didn't like what he was being told, and he was very angry and very stubborn.
We talking Aquaman or Namor?
And so he kicked him out, said, get the hell out of here, and they left. And when that happened, they left, and they went back to their own frequency, protecting the Earth. They let the Atlanteans do whatever they were going to do. By the way, there's only so much we can get away with before dimensional beings from all different places would step in and stop it. They don't need to do that because we are on track to shift. So that's
a scary belief to think that nothing ultimately terrible, no collapse can happen because someone will step in and stop it. That's a dangerous line of thinking.
And the Lemurians
it's almost like learned helplessness,
are ready to
but with a justification.
Reconnect with their human family. And from their perspective, they never left. We left them. And now they're with open arms, and they're so happy that we want to shift up and they want to help us. And they're it's not that they're shy. They're very respectful of other people's sovereignty. Very respectful.
Why is frequencies always involved in conspiracies? Because it's a vibe. What they're really talking about when they say frequency is emotion. They always connect this concept in some way to feelings. Your frequency is either high and you're doing well and you're happy and you're enlightened, or your frequency is low and you're tuning out realities and you're sad and you're upset. Ultimately, a lot of conspiracy theory is coming up with justifications for very complex and weird emotions people are having. A lot of the conspiracies to me feel like post hoc rationalizations for why someone is feeling paranoid or feeling separate from everyone else or feeling alienated by mainstream narratives. And based on that, they sort of construct complex mythologies and narratives in order to justify the emotions they're already having, instead of investigating those emotions and seeing what the actual cause is, or if they're rational, or if they're maybe just like something they need to work through. Yeah, they basically build complex worlds to explain their emotions.
And it's part of their gentle...
I said post hoc, yes.
...nature as protectors of Earth. You know, they're very, very, very gentle and loving that way. In fact, just before I started this, I said, I asked, is there any suggestions you have? And they said, be nice, because we're nice. Meaning, be nice. I haven't followed that. I get angry about things, but they're just very sweet and nice. The kindest beings I've ever experienced. And they're ready to reconnect with us. Lemurians and humans will live together again. So we've gone through a 13,000 year period of, our own new chapter in the human experiment, which involved a lot of harshness and disconnection from things, but that's what we needed in order to learn, and now we're ready to move on, and so we will. All right, so there's my video on Lemurians, and so more will be revealed.
Thanks. Oh, what else do we have?
There are several different methods a being can use to shape their reality. Manifesting is a topic as ancient as humans' origins and as inseparably connected with our true identity as creator beings. It's no wonder we yearn to master the art of manifesting. This desire is deeper than the surface may appear.
Just do things!
It's wired within us.
If you want something, work towards it.
Because
That's
it's
it. You can't just manifest things. This is always so frustrating to me.
our birthright. So today I'm going to be breaking down this esoteric science behind manifesting, as well as sharing a mystic's approach to
Esoteric science.
manifesting, so that you can begin creating the life you deserve. And at the end of this video, I'm going to share my secret method to manifesting that I use every day. As I mentioned, there are several ways a being can manifest. Every direction we turn, there will be a way that we can call forth that which we wish to bring into the physical, since that is a part of our true nature. Some methods are more potent than others, but all of them valid in their own right. But to truly understand manifesting, we need to first know something really important about this universe. And that is, just like we can have a type we're attracted to, so too does the universe have a type. The universe finds certain traits and virtues highly attractive. So attractive that it wishes for you to become its desire. You could even say it's
This sounds like a cult, but the universe is the cult leader.
manifesting you. And just like we have personal aspirations, the universe has its own as well. It wishes for us to become conscious.
That's almost like an eldritch, that's like a cosmic horror idea that the universe has motivations and will direct you towards those motivations or reward you for going towards those motivations or punish you for going against them. That's a horrifying idea.
Because in doing so, we are awakened out of the sleep state of consciousness that is currently being bad vibes. The sleep state of
Bad vibes,
consciousness is
bad emotions, low frequencies.
creating our collective reality by default through magnetizing experiences that reflect our repressed unconscious denial.
This one makes me hate the English language.
We don't need to turn
You can use words to just say any bullshit, and it's so frustrating.
far to understand this law of attraction. In Hermetic terminology, specific causes have specific effects. Cause and effect. And since the physical always reflects the metaphysical, the best physical
What does that even mean, the physical reflects the metaphysical? What's the metaphysical? Where is it? What are you talking about?
representation of this law, or attraction, is a magnet. So too does our energy field hold magnetic and electrical currents within it.
No,
The
it
magnetic
doesn't.
current is the feminine energy. This is the feminine principle of sentience, known as the emotional body. And the electrical current is the masculine principle of thought. What this means is that when we are
Women are magnets and men are electricity. That makes total sense. Totally. Yep, this isn't crazy.
manifesting, either unknowingly or even deliberately, what we are doing is drawing experiences toward our energy field primarily through our emotional body, since our emotional body is the
I transitioned to an electromagnet.
magnetic aspect of our energy field. Now, the emotional body has a more well-known name, and that's called the subconscious. There is no difference between the emotional body and the subconscious. It is the part of us that is visceral rather than verbal. And that is an important key to know for manifesting. So keeping all of this in mind, The first rule of manifesting is the universe is no chill. The universe, your higher self, your soul, they're all no chill. The reason it's important to understand this if we want to manifest from the most potent space available is because a lot of things are manifested on our behalf or even against our wishes due to the energy of denial that we hold. In a universe where opposites attract and like attracts like, the only thing you can be certain of—
Opposites attract with magnetism. That's not a universal rule about everything in life.
—is that we attract. What this all means is that we have multiple points of attraction. Sometimes we create dire scenarios that we would never consciously agree to, specifically to get us in touch with aspects of our own essence that have been denied or stuck in a state of soul loss.
Or you just fucked up, or sometimes bad shit just happens to people for no good reason. Not everything is a lesson. Not everything is some purpose-driven fucking bullshit. Stuff just happens. Oh my god. Can you imagine how good life could be if people were not crazy? Can you imagine if people were good faith actors that genuinely cared about the truth? Oh my god. We could be doing so well. Oh. Fennikagami says, one of the best bits of All-Star Superman was Lex getting Superman's powers and learning Superman could literally see and perceive that everything in the universe is connected, and the universe is unfeeling and will destroy us if we don't work together to stay alive, and it gave him a massive existential crisis over how bad and selfish a person he's been his whole life.
What this is all adding up to is that we have things we want to manifest, and so does the universe, and so does our own energy field. Sometimes our wishes and the universe's wishes are aligned, and sometimes they're not. And in the times when they are not aligned, guess whose will is going to prevail? If it makes you feel any better, we are the universe in its microcosm expression. So don't worry.
That doesn't mean anything.
Worry about a foreign force trying to overpower you. It's just you having a tiff with yourself. So there is nothing more—
What a terrible way to describe your problems. You're gonna tell someone with cancer, oh, that's just you arguing with yourself, you fucking bitch.
Powerful we can do when—
Profane Priestess says, okay, but this whole women are intuitive, empathetic, and men are rational thing is both misogynistic and misandrist. It's the same shit that's justified patriarchy for centuries. It's used to keep women in their place and to justify toxic masculinity.
When it comes to manifesting, then to first move in the direction of consciousness, since that is what amplifies our energy field's ability to consciously select experiences and not come from a place of default selection. A lot of our journey can be spent trying to align with the universe, but on our own terms. You see the funny predicament in that? Who wants to be broken down to have a breakthrough? However, our higher guidance is far more interested in our clarity, rather than pulling us deeper into sleep. If we are able to clearly see ourselves, the world, our predicament in the world, our core issues, our overarching themes, our talents, our positive attributes, and our blind—
That's literally a scrub pad that you lit on fire. Why is this the B-roll?
—spots and duality, we can move—
This isn't mystical. It's literally one of those metal scrubber pads. That's what happens when you light them on fire.
Move in the direction of our higher guidance while naturally manifesting—
Looks cool though.
—positive results in our life as a result of our clarity and growth. Which is why there is no act more powerful than healing when it comes to manifesting. In fact, the healing journey can just be summed up to a whole consolidation of our own dissonance, aka the multiple points of attraction. It's not like we are expected to be fully conscious in order to manifest. Not at all. We can and will manifest several of our heart's desires exactly as we are, and for no other reason than our auric field would really benefit from it.
I'm sorry, what's our auric field?
But this is the overarching plot within
auric?
This universe. And knowing it will only help you become more aligned and therefore able to bring your manifestations into fruition in a very powerful way. The second rule of manifesting: you must make yourself equal to what you want to manifest. This means, how are you approaching what you want to manifest? Observe how we are approaching the whole process of manifesting from the bigger picture. This is so important. I cannot emphasize this part enough. Because if we go about manifesting without this step, we will sometimes be on the mark and we will sometimes not be on the mark, and we won't know what's responding to us and why it didn't work. And the reason why is because we are approaching this whole process as if the universe...
I gotta stop this video. She's actively making me upset. It's so much bullshit. It's so much bullshit. Let's see what else we have. We're gonna learn about the Hollow Earth.
This planet that we live in, folks, is a strange planet indeed. And it is only strange due to our lack of knowledge and understanding of it. Think about it. We live on a planet that is over 75% water, and the majority of those waters have been left unexplored. Why? There are
because it's big and difficult to explore the deep oceans. Submarines are dangerous.
Several land masses.
And we don't build a ton of them.
That many people still to this day don't even know exist. Why? Because the money that is needed to openly explore these regions of our planet is all put into the exploration of regions outside our planet. I mean, NASA was just approved for a multi-billion-dollar project to take a trip to Mars. Mars, folks. Honestly, with everything we are facing in our world today...
Are we supposed to hate Mars? Was it supposed to be Mars? And we'll all go, boo, Mars. I didn't get the memo that we're supposed to hate Mars.
Do any of you really give a crap about what's going on with Mars?
Who even cares what's going on Mars? Mars is stupid.
Maybe all this space exploration is funded in order to keep us away from exploring remote locations on our planet.
That doesn't make sense. They're not mutually exclusive. There are people who investigate the oceans. It just has less funding, I would guess.
Well, as history shows us, lack of funding doesn't stop people from the exploration of truth.
M. Scheffler says, that's how I feel about Sovsits. I try to watch, but I can't. Moron speaking so confidently and being so wrong drives me insane. I'm just like, nope, I can't. It drives me insane too, but I like it.
It just limits them. Which brings us to the discovery of a possible truth that is beyond strange and beyond our comprehension. So here we go, folks. Hollow Earth. So, right now, there are two major ideas, or concepts, behind the Hollow Earth theory. There is also a third theory which suggests that our planet may not be the spherical shape that we always known it to be. That is another video. Now, the first idea or concept or layer to Hollow Earth has to do with something that we really know is fact. We all know that there are holes or pockets within the Earth's crust. There are caves, crevasses, reservoirs, tunnels, bunkers, mines, underground bases, and maybe even cities. Aside from the holes we create, the majority of natural underground caves remain unexplored. Because quite frankly, you have to be nuts to explore them, and get other people to explore them with you. Which brings me to the second concept.
Bravo Needs Bacon says, you always crack me up. Turned a crap workday into a funny night. I'm glad.
The deep layer to the Hollow Earth theory, which is an ancient theory, by the way. But I want to start with Admiral Byrd. Now, here's a true nut, folks. And I'm not saying nuts in the sense that he was crazy. I'm saying nuts in the sense that this guy had a lot of balls.
That's not really what nuts means in this context, but I guess you explained it, so sure. Tori says, Land of the Lost.
Him and his co-pilot.
We gotta get to the... What did they have? What the fuck were they? Pylons? Did they have pylons in Land of the Lost?
Floyd Bennett. So, what they did is they flew a 1920s aircraft up and into the North Pole. This takes a very skilled and talented pilot, because nobody is pulling it off today without an advanced military jet. This expedition with 2 people still remains questionable to this day, not because of what they didn't find up there, but because of what they did find. Lush vegetation. Not little patches of it, but valleys, mountains, and rolling green hills, as he describes in his diary, which we don't know is real because Bird is not here to tell us that it is, and wasn't here when the diary was released. But even if no one believed his story about the North Pole, then why was he sent to find vast resources at the South Pole? Now,
They're probably looking for oil.
And folks, that you can't just get up and go to the North and South Poles, and it's not just as simple as flying there, especially the South Pole, where you have an ice barrier, a virtual wall of wind, snow, and ice, something you may only be able to drive through with a tank. Now, we can assume that there is land underneath the large ice sheets of the North.
Does he think that the entire coast of Antarctica is a big wall? There are parts of it that are not, that you could just go on. Like, do you think the researchers get up to a big wall and they all, like, have to climb up the wall to get off the boat?
South Poles. But green, lush valleys and rivers and hills and
there are ports in Antarctica.
Mountains.
Not many, but they're for researchers and stuff.
We're talking about a lost world here. But is it really that inconceivable? Did you know that there is a bird, a small bird, called a Ross's gull? It is a type of seabird. What's significant about this bird is that it's been known to fly north for the winter, and their breeding sites are extremely difficult to locate. In other words, they don't really know where these birds go when they fly into the Arctic and come back with kids. So, you have to ask yourself, how does a bird who's built like this survive the deep Arctic in the winter months? Speaking of birds,
I don't know, but the answer that you're giving, which is they go to the center of the earth or whatever, isn't very compelling since you don't have any evidence.
Admiral Byrd goes on in his diary to describe his accounts of inner Earth or hollow Earth. Now, I'm not
Oh, this is the fake diary. There's a known, like, fake diary of Admiral Byrd that's out there that includes, like, descriptions of, like, the inner Earth and stuff. Conspiracy theorists love it.
to tell you what he said because it's way out there, folks. But
it was discovered after his death. Ooh!
To tell you how this
It's made up.
hollow Earth works. So I want you to use your imagination here for a moment. Let's just say that, for the sake of the argument, the Earth is round. I know some of you are going to be like, it's flat!
No, I'm on board with you.
It's flat, goddammit! And I'm going to get to that, trust me. I am. But for now, in order to understand this, I need you to pretend that the Earth is round.
Imagine the audience you have to take like a full 30-second thing to be like, all right, I know you're gonna be mad. But just imagine the Earth is round for a second. So chat, I know this is hard for you, but imagine for a second the Earth is round. I know it's difficult.
Now, we've all been taught that the Earth consists of 4 layers: the crust, the mantle, the outer core, and the inner core. The crust is what we have studied the most, so it is the part of the Earth that we have the most information on. Now, the crust is very thin. It's been estimated to be between 3 and 5 miles thick underneath the ocean floor, and about 5 to 25 miles thick from the surface to the mantle. Then you've got about a good 1,800 miles of mantle. Then the outer core another 1,400 miles, and then you have the inner core, which is about 800 miles across. Now, we know that the core is actually solid iron and a little nickel, but
Isn't it molten?
mostly a spinning
And isn't it like churning what causes the Earth's magnetic field?
ball of iron that spins in the
He
opposite
called it solid.
direction of the crust. Now, modern discoveries suggest that this core is not like some spinning molten fireball in the center of the Earth, but a solid form of iron
Oh, it is solid? Okay.
that emits a type of light energy. Not like the radiation we get from the sun, but the energy that it emits seems to mimic the sun. Now, if you've ever seen an
You know all light is radiation, right?
ultrasound perform on a pregnant woman,
It's electromagnetic radiation.
you know that they use sound waves through a probe to get images. And this is what they have done to the Earth, using satellites. Some of the images produced, however, have been very difficult to explain, and some scientists have done their math and suggested that there is actually space between the core and perhaps the mantle. Are you with me so far? If that's true, then that would mean that the Earth would have a second crust, an inner crust. And in between these two layers of crust
Hey, main captain.
would be the mantle and magma, which also means that gravity is not in the core, but in the crust. So,
That's not... Gravity is at there's a center of gravity of the object. It's not in the crust. That's... Oh god, the way he's talking about this gives me a headache.
if all these things are true, then yes, it makes
Gravity
sense.
is a function of the mass overall. It's not like in the center or in the crust. It's a like a net of all the mass, and the center of gravity is somewhere in the center of whatever that mass is.
That life could
But
exist
it all has gravity.
on this inner crust, with the core acting as an inner sun. All the elements that are needed for life are there. People are still trying to look for these holes at the North and South poles. Adolf Hitler was actually obsessed with finding Hollow Earth through
Oh, and as we all know, he was a real rational, sober guy.
the South Pole. But doing this cost a lot of money, folks.
Bittergrin says if this were true, gravity would still pull you towards the core, right into the inner sun.
Even if you find the hole, who's gonna make the trip through it? To find out if there's some allegedly beautiful, perfect world when you come out the other end.
There definitely is. I've seen King Kong versus Godzilla, and I'm pretty sure that's a documentary.
Who's willingly gonna go through a big, dark, black hole in the earth?
Honestly, there's a lot of people who are into exploration and, like, putting themselves in danger. People go spelunking. I can't imagine that. Have you guys heard about the Nutty Putty cave incident? Spelunking sounds horrifying. Have you seen The Descent?
Well,
But people do it. People skydive. People do dangerous things every day.
I guess there are a few people who would. All I know is, I'm not going to Hollow Earth anytime
This is just the X-Men Savage Lands. Is that underground?
soon. And I'm pretty sure neither
Never been a big X-Man person.
will any of you. Don't worry, folks. I don't think that the people of Hollow Earth like us anyways.
It's probably a good call. Alright. I think that's where we're gonna stop today at 2.5 hours, because I am starving. I've not eaten today, and I need to do that. So, thank you everyone for hanging out. Appreciate another tinfoil in the books. We got another bingo winner. That's fun. So I'll be back tomorrow. I'm not sure what we're gonna do tomorrow, but I'll find something fun. Maybe Court Watch. I'm not sure. I definitely saw a Court video earlier that's pretty good that I do want to cover, but I don't know if we'll cover it tomorrow. Let's see who we're going to rate on Twitch. No problem, Tea Time Tea and everyone else. Thanks for coming. Couldn't do the stream without you guys. I'll read the little
Pick it up.
Alright, have a great night, everyone. Do this raid, and then we'll call it a night. Oh, whoops. Sorry. Let me fix that. Stop. That didn't work. There we go. Alright. Hope everyone has a great night and afternoon tomorrow, and I'll see you tomorrow evening for another stream. Bye, everyone.